Earl here, age 62, retired by choice, master, longtime mechanic, and metals engineer, assembly engineer, calibrations, machining as well. Okay, so I have the experience, and I do have a lot of mechanical advice on my videos on my channel. If you want to watch them, how to change a battery in a vehicle and save your memory, which means you can save your preset radio stations, seat adjustments. You can save your memory if you will watch how to change the battery in your car and save your memory. Okay, and on different vehicles, Harley Davidsons, different engine types. What I'm going to talk about today, the best way to clean the engine in your vehicle. Car, pickup, SUV, whatever it may be. Alright, best way to do it, you need a standard can of WD-40 penetrating oil. That concoction got its name penetrating, to penetrate, for a reason. It's slightly thinner than kerosene oil. It was used in the 1800s. It does penetrate. Okay, and this is the best way you can clean your engine. The best way to do it with your engine, like when it's hot, let it warm enough to where your exhaust manifolds aren't hot, because you don't want a fire. Or just have a hydrant hose around or whatever. Wait till it's like warm, and just take penetrating oil, and spray all over that engine. Spray it all over that engine. Let it sit there a while. Then take regular paper towels and wipe off the areas you can get to, like the valve cover, other areas, the throttle body air cleaner assembly, wipe it off best you can. Then, just drive it again, like you normally would. Just have patience. Keep using the vehicle regularly. It won't start a fire once it sits there a while, from the exhaust manifolds. Alright, next day or whatever, when that engine's warm, spray WD-40 all over that engine again. And then wipe it down with paper towels, the areas you can get to. Alright, now for stubborn areas on engines, like you take under your valve cover, usually where the water pump bolts on, or the sides of the block, they can get caked up, build up, grease or whatever that's hardened on there. When they're hot, spray those areas. It breaks that down, because see, it penetrates it, where it's dried and baked to your engine, and it penetrates it, it softens it. And then, after it softens it a while, this is where you can take a hose, and you can spray against it. This stuff will start falling off. This is the best way to do it. As far as engine degreasers, don't use that nasty junk. Well, let me tell you why. I used to be stupid, when I was a teenager, a long, long time ago. And I would buy that engine degreaser, and it leaves a chalk residue into where white splotches on painted areas, and you can't get rid of it once that happens. Don't use that garbage. I think they must use diesel in that engine degreaser, because Diesel does leave a white chalky residue if you use diesel to like clean with or whatever, as to where kerosene is not as bad about that. And I think WD-40 is more a kerosene type oil that's reduced, thinner, and it gets its name penetrating oil for a reason. And this is the best way, people, to clean your engine. And you can, at times you can take like cotton cloth, just liquid dishwashing detergent, and get the towel wet. And then you can wash outer areas like that, and then just spray them off mildly. Don't ever steam blast an engine, because all that does, it causes crossfiring, and it sets up wire plugs and ends for corrosion is all it does. And anytime after you spray an engine, like with water, after you use soap like I told you, this would be something to get rid of the oiliness or whatever. With the hood raised up on the car, run it for about 20 minutes to let that damn water evaporate. Because anytime you spray an engine off and then you shut that hood, the evaporation of that water, it clings to your wire ends. This can cause cross circuitry, because water is a conductor of electricity, and it can set up for corrosion. But usually I use WD-40. I don't ever have to go with the use of water or soap. I don't have to do that. I bought a 2002 Super Crew cab. It was April of 2015. How long has that been? 3.5 years ago? Anyway, it ran good and everything, but that engine, it had crap, from engine oil blow by all over the top of the engine, and all I had to do on that several times, I just took WD-40 and just sprayed off all that, or sprayed all over it. And then I just wiped off the upper parts of the engine. And as I would use the vehicle, like the next 2 or 3 times, that grease breaks down and it starts falling down. So it softens that baked on grease when you use that penetrating oil. But that's the best way to clean an engine in a car. It will work a lot better than you would think in your mind. Most people in their mind, they think you have to get down and scrub something and it's got to be immediate right then. But you take a greasy engine and you spray it down with penetrating oil, that stuff starts breaking down. So, and every time you drive that car, that engine gets hot, it starts moving downward. But that's the best way to do it, people, that I found. And it's better because instead of hurting your wire connectors, it helps them. It's just with any engine that's hot, exhaust manifolds, any oil type product, be careful. But with an engine warm, you don't have anything to worry about. And WD-40 will not remain on an exhaust manifold after you let it set about 15 minutes. But that's the best way to do it, and it also helps your wiring at the same time. But let's see, anything else I want to add this evening? I like to help people if I can. Look through my videos and try not to be judgmental of me myself, and if you can see anything that might apply to you, be helpful, whether it's a motorcycle, car, whatever, watch it. Because I don't make a video based on theory or assumption. It's things I've done and stuff I know that can be done and give the best results. I'm one of those people. I was a teenager. I learned everything the hard way, you know. Bought all these concoctions and stuff like engine degreaser, all this garbage, and you know, learning over time, educating, you know, to the best way to do things. You know, generally, most things are just common intelligence, and products, as far as this will do this, you know, in a can or a spray container or a bottle, that's just marketers. That's just to make money. You know, it's that's all it is. Rarely do I buy things in cans other than WD-40 penetrating oil, things like that. That's just about it. But you know, the latest thing, it's got fancy names. Like you take Lucas Oil Treatment. That is a bunch of BS. All they did was put blue dye in that, and it's STP oil treatment from the 1970s, people. That's all the hell that is. And by the way, you should not use an oil thickener or STP oil treatment and never use Lucas Oil Treatment. Don't do it. You'll ruin your engine, because as an engineer, and this I have knowledge is of engine blocks. Your oil ports in your engine, to get the oil to get from the bottom of that engine to the top, are half the size of this big fountain pen. If you put STP oil treatment or Lucas oil treatment, what it does, it gets stopped up. The upper end of your engine is going to run dry. It's a fact. Not only that, but that thickness, that thicker oil, the pump sump, oil pump tube, okay, the screen, it can't pump it up in it, okay? But anyway, good luck everybody, and good evening.